day 2 of the conference. Who got in yesterday? I know many of you had to did it yesterday or to be here this morning. Did anybody make it in this morning, a special trooper, and get here to this event this morning? Yes, let's give a round of applause. And that gives you later. To say good morning, welcome to NSBE 49. We made it. A jam-packed program. You've seen the agenda in Facebook, you've seen the agenda online. There are over 500 events in the program, and you're not going to be able to go to everything. So tag team to divide and conquer and bring back all the knowledge, but specifically, of course, engage in programming on the TPC agenda. We just want to go through a couple of high-level topics to discuss with you as the NSBE professionals. Of course, during general session today, I'll go more in depth into safety professionals, so I won't be redundant here this morning, but really just want to informally have a dialogue. I think you've had an opportunity to get a little bit of sustenance to get you started and get the energy going today, but we'll have more time to talk in depth about activities that we look forward to throughout the day, and of course, the rest of the conference. Sound good? Sound good? Yes. All right. So it would not be an NSBE conference, and I can't believe we didn't do this yesterday yet, to not stand in unison, right, and recite the NSBE mission statement. If this is your first, right, NSBE conference experience, this is kind of, I call it a cultish type experience, but it's something that's certainly a part of NSBE tradition. And so let's kick this off with reciting the NSBE mission, which is to increase the number of culturally responsible Black engineers who excel academically, succeed professionally, and positively impact the community. Awesome. Give yourself a round of applause. So a couple of things we'll cover for today, right? Just we're giving you greetings, welcoming you. We'll talk a little bit about Game Change 2025, highlighting specifically how the NSBE professionals have been advancing that in support of the larger organization. And then we'll give you a little bit to look forward in the conference, if you haven't marked all the important events on your agenda. And then we have some good time for discussion after telling you how you can get involved if you want to take the next step or continue in this leadership and service. I got to turn you around again. So a little bit about me, if we haven't gotten an opportunity to meet with anybody here at PBC. Anybody here in the room attended PBC last year in Miami? Okay, a few hands. Does anybody remember what my goal was at PBC? One of my goals? Go ahead.
To meet everybody in the room?
Yes, to meet everybody in the room and at the conference. Now, I don't know how that would possibly be achievable, right? An annual convention with over 12,000 people, but I certainly want to meet all of the professional membership, connect with you, and to have you connect with members of the professional executive board. I see a number of members here in my team. I'm just going to ask them to kind of briefly stand, wave your hands so you know who they are in the room. Can I have members of the PEB just stand so folks know who you are? Let's give them a round of applause. Yeah, they've been working hard, of course, behind the scenes and in front of the scenes to bring you the programming that you receive, support you as chapters, and really support the TPC conference planning team that's brought you track this year. So for those who don't know me, I'm Elton from Region 2, originally from Region 4, and work in the healthcare and pharma industry at a company, AstraZeneca, doing strategy there. And I've been a member of NSBE for a little while, started actually in NSBE Junior, and it's really the investment in the organization that's a part of, the investment in me from the organization that's a part of my NSBE why and why I give back today. You've seen these faces, right? They just kind of stood up and showed you where they are in your room, so please remember to engage with members of the PEB. So first update is regarding the PDC, and I'm going to hand the mic briefly to Townsend to give you kind of a recap of what to look for for PDC, or we might tag team with Julius if he has anything to build. He's the incoming PDC chair. Keep going.
Yeah, I'll tag team with you.
You stay ready, you ain't gotta get ready, right? Good morning. Glad you guys could come out this morning. My name is Julius Hudson. I have the privilege this year to serve as the Professional Development Chair. PDC will be in Dallas, Texas, on 23rd of August, 23rd to 27th. We wanted to make sure that we put all the effort and energy for TPC and National Conference, but at the conclusion of this conference, you'll start seeing information about PDC, about the registration, about promotional rate, or promotional opportunity for registration that you guys can sign up for by being attendees of this conference. I am not a Dallas native, but I've been there for 15 years, so it's kind of bled on me a little bit, and the city has a lot to offer for technical professionals, seasoned, early technical, mid-year, mid-career. So we actually are putting a program team together. I'm not reading from slides. We put a team together to really engage the opportunities that Dallas, Texas can offer. We plan on having workshop tracks that are very involved from a professional aspect. We also want some certifications. We really lean into cybersecurity and some other opportunities which would involve you actually sending your companies to participate in this event. We're looking to have between 800 to 1,000 there. It's a great number that we're trying to get. Last PDC, we roughly had about 600 in attendance. So we just want to build on that. Of course, we'll have opportunities at the PDC for networking and just experiencing the city. But we also want to make sure we keep you guys engaged while you're at the conference with content. So right now, the team's looking at roughly about 40 workshop opportunities, partnering with our BCA companies, partnering with just companies in the area to provide that expertise. So I just look forward to seeing you guys out at this event. It will be professional based, and you will have opportunities to network with other companies as well if that's your interest, and different opportunities there. So we'll have more information. You'll see my PDC chair at NSBE.org email around possibly if you have any questions, or if you have it now, you can touch base with me. But I'm looking forward to having you guys come to the event. You want to add anything else?
Yeah, sure. Just a little bit about this. Talk a little bit about this with companies want to sponsor anything for PDC. There's a sponsorship packet that will be coming out briefly, or coming out the next couple of weeks with those tiers and ways they can, help sponsor and participate in the program. So want to put that out there. This information will come out later. But I do have the privilege, Julie saw through, what we want to do at the conference. I can say that, hey, for you guys that are in attendance today, we got some early access for you. We actually want to open up a special convention level rate that is above and beyond our early bird access. So please scan the QR code. We're taking names, information, and that information will come out after the convention, but we'll grant you or give you information on how you can take advantage of a special, extra special early bird rate for professional development conference. So
We gotta pay?
please do the QR code, fill out the information, and thank you.
Thank you. I'll let everybody take a moment to scan the QR code. Okay, so something else I wanted to highlight is some of the behind the scenes infrastructure that we have in the organization. And maybe just by a show of hands, whose favorite website is NSBE.org? What? Everybody's hands? Favorite? Whose favorite website to log in on the back end, right, is NSBE.org? Okay, well, we have some work to do, right, to change that narrative. No, I mean, a little tongue in cheek. It isn't lost on us, right, that we're investing in our infrastructure now and have more to do. But we do have some wins, right, to bring resources to you so that you can have a better membership experience on the back end, but also for chapter leaders, be able to manage your chapters, both the leaders and access your members and see who's paid and active nationally and be able to reconcile those lists locally. And so I think we have a teacher here, Mr. Ivan, president of the DMW chapter. We were able to surprise Philip his profile. He's sitting right here. Let's give him a hand. I really appreciate our chapter presidents. I think they're the hardest working individuals in the organization, really servicing the members on the grassroots level. But we know that in order to be able to service members, you have to know who they are. And so if you are a chapter leader, specifically a chapter president who wants to give access to your chapter leaders, you are able to access a chapter portal now on the back end to be able to, one, add your leaders and delegates and other board positions, but also you're able to see your membership role. So at any time, real time, you can log in and see who's active. And there's a QR code here for you to get access if you don't currently have access. It's a simple form, and that's passed forward to our membership team with Nick Carver and our WHQ staff. They'll do some work on the back end so you can gain access. Sound good? I see a couple of people taking photos of the QR code. And if you have any feedback, right, of additional things you want to see on this back end, feel free to pass it forward today or to follow up with Nick Carver, who's our membership chair. He's sitting here. So I wanted to highlight just a couple of programs. One of them is the NSBE Leadership Incubator, which is a part of a larger umbrella of programming in the organization, the National Leadership Institute. But this one specifically, right, for professionals. And its current iteration is focused on early career professionals. So those kind of 0 to 5 years in their career. But we're going to advance this to build out a second and third tier over time, one that focuses on mid-career called the Accelerator. And then one that will focus more on executive leadership around thought leadership, really building a platform for those to share their expertise, like subject matter experts, and then executives to share their thought leaders in industry. But the program, right, was successfully piloted in 2022, and now the second cohort has launched and is actively engaged in the program, kicking off from this January. And we have just a short video. We'll make sure it plays here for you where you can hear a testimonial of one of the recent graduates from the last cohort.
Hello, my name is Kevin Banks, and I have the pleasure of being a part of the first cohort for the NSBE Leadership Incubator program. One of the things that I've learned as a result of being in the program is the importance of having a like-minded community. That was something that I did not have prior to starting the program, and I'm glad that I've came as a result of being a part of it. In addition, one of my goals that we've achieved so far within the program has been a greater exposure to leadership opportunities within the organization. As a result, I'm excited to continue charting my path to leadership in the broader organization as a whole, specifically as a professional member. Feel free to reach out to me if you have any additional questions, and I look forward to seeing you in cohort number 2. Thank you.
So again, Kevin Banks here was one of the graduates from our first cohort. And I'll highlight just a couple of the stats here. Right, 18 graduates, there are 20 in the new cohort, but they had a couple of wins, right? 6 received promotions or next step job opportunities, 5 got an industry recognized certification, and then there were also individuals in the program who got a next step leadership opportunity in their organization. And so we really called this success, right, for the pilot, but knew that from feedback, there was a lot of opportunity to grow and improve. And so we've taken that feedback and incorporated it into the new model. And if you'd like to hear more in depth about the current program structure, Jasmine Delva, right, is seated up front. She's our talent development chair and knows the ins and outs and runs this on a day-to-day basis. But again, these are some of the incubator participants for the 2023 cohort. I've seen some of them here in the room and in the conference yesterday. I just want to shout out Honeywell, who's one of our key partners and sponsors for the program, allowing us to expand and bring more resources. And continuing with the theme of membership and our thoughts on membership, we want to talk a little bit about a proposal that we have forward here around membership definition and membership eligibility. And I'm looking to see if Eric is here to speak a little bit to the proposal on the ballot. I'll have him come forward. He's our parliamentarian on the Professional Executive Board, and we're looking forward to bring forward changes to really increase access to membership within the NSBE professional space. Eric?
Good morning, family. I don't know if you have that slide.
Yeah.
But basically what we're doing is actually a fairly simple change to the NSBE Constitution to add some additional options for requirements that define professional membership. And it's driven by a multi-year strategy that we're going to pursue to try to expand access to credentials for professional membership as opposed to affiliates. Right now, what we decided to do was kind of the low-hanging fruit, easiest thing that we thought we could get through the NSBE Senate, which is to add the credential if you have a license, either PD, EIT, or EI. Regardless of if your degree is accredited or not, that can also serve as your evidence that you're eligible for professional membership. You can run for an office, that kind of thing. So it's a couple of things we're trying to do with this. One, create the justification to accommodate international members who can get their licenses in other countries and get us an in run around kind of the ABET thing for accreditation. So it's kind of opening a path to it for us to be able to formally make international members full members of the society. But then the other thing that it does is it gives us some more flexibility around leadership verification, not only relying on the degree, but opening the door for some other forms of provenance. Like I said, it's a multi-year plan. This is the first step. We're investigating policy-related changes that already exist, modifications to verification policy and membership policies to figure out how we can increase the accreditation window to include international members. And we're also taking some steps to see what else we can look at in the space of other forms of credentials. There's been a lot of discussion that's been had within your leadership about which certifications, which forms of leadership would be ones that could be considered forms of qualification. Unfortunately, we're not at consensus with a lot of those. There's still debate going on. And so there's going to be a lot more work that's required for that work. But as it stands now, that particular space is where we're ready to move right now, and so we are. Just to show you this Venn diagram, basically the analysis of membership gave us this notion of saying, well, who falls into the space of people who are eligible to be professional members versus who sits in the engineering community at large. And essentially, the way we've handled international members, people with non-accredited degrees, they can't be full professional members, even though they serve as active members of the engineering community. We want to move them into a space where they can have that access. We currently handle them as affiliates. We want to figure out how to make them full professionals. So that's the story. If anyone has any questions, feel free to find me throughout the conference. I'm more than happy to talk through it. I'll be speaking at National Forum later today to kind of present this to the senators and give them a flavor for what we're trying to accomplish. Okay.
So I'll walk out into. Okay, so let's go to see highlights, things that be aware of for the rest of the conference. We're in day 2 now. Brother Ed mentioned the general session happening later today. Tonight, we will have the high roller event that happens at the Abbott. So hopefully you got your tickets for that event. I think VMP is sold out, but I think there's still some general admission tickets still available for that. Tomorrow, well, of course, we'll have the awards gala, which will be a sneaker ball held here at the convention center, or at the convention center. Yeah, okay. Oh, so here in this room, actually. See the beautiful D. This is where, okay, it'll be held here tomorrow night. So be ready for the sneaker ball. Hopefully you brought your kicks. I know I've got some shoes and don't want to put anybody to shame yet, but so sneaker ball will be tomorrow night, but we will do our chapter awards there. So represent your chapter, come out, support your chapters, support all the chapters across the society as we celebrate you guys and hear from our leadership. Next slide, please. Yep. Saturday, professional chapter leadership brunch brought to you by Pepsi. Will be a good brunch session. We hear a little bit more from us. We'll specifically focus again on our regional leadership. That'll happen in midday Saturday, and then of course Golden Torch Awards does happen Saturday night. So hopefully you brought multiple tons for the events that will happen over the next couple of days. But the Golden Torch Awards will be, our national awards, National Chapter of the Year, Professional Member of the Year. Hear from our award winners at that exciting event that will happen Saturday night. So keep going. Yeah. There was a call that went out early this morning, so we put the slides in here quickly. There's a lot of PCI events that actually happened today. Just wanted to point those out and bring awareness to them. So if you have the bandwidth around the other events that are happening, please help out and support. If you go to the next slide there, I've got a kind of a general list of things that can happen. I mean, please take pictures. I'm not going to walk through each one of these things here, but if you have the bandwidth and capability to support and to pour into our PCI students, please reach out to these contacts here, see where the locations of the rooms are, and see if you can volunteer any bit of your time. Okay, cool. All right, now we're moving on to board service opportunities. So meet the candidates. We do have candidates for our elected national professionals positions here. You can actually hear more from them tomorrow at the Q&A session. I believe that happens at 1 p.m. tomorrow in the convention center. So we've got 5 candidates that are running for positions on our board. We, as opposed to maybe the NEB side or the National Executive Board side, we alternate, we stagger our positions. So not every position is available every year, but that helps with continuity year over year where we're having somebody carry over. So currently up, and I think some of them are in the room, I may call them out. I see Taylor over there, so I'm going to call Taylor. We have Taylor Jenkins over there running for our national professional this year. I thought I saw Alex earlier, but Alex Isaac will be running for our professional treasurer-elect. Jonathan is in here. Okay, Jonathan is running for our national membership chair, our national professionals membership chair, sorry. Johnny Tangle is coming back for another term, looking to run again as our professionals finance chair. And then we have Ms. Renee Robinson, who will be running for our professional publicist. So if you guys have seen the newsletters or any of the social media posts, that's a really, visible position that helps get the word and the theme of the NSBE professionals out to our membership. So great positions there. Those still have some open positions. And so one is elected, one is appointed. We are looking for a program chair for our next board. So if you know somebody who's interested in putting on programs, please have them start to consider these options here. Also with that, appointed position is parliamentarian. So you heard from Mr. Eric Bryan earlier. That position is actually a 1-year position. So every year that position has to be appointed. So currently don't have any candidates at the parliamentarian position. So how do you apply for these positions? Well, we have an online form that's currently closed right now, but it will open up. And okay, Eric walked up the room, so I can say this. It will open up probably Saturday evening after the elections have happened for the candidates that we have listed here. So if you have anybody that's interested in one of these positions or anything else with the professionals board, they'll be ready to have them ready and look at the application. It will be open this weekend. So we're looking to move quickly on that. Like I said, NSBE 50 is on the horizon. So anything we can do to move forward with that, we definitely want to fill our board as quickly as possible. So with that being said, I see the slide change. Like I said, we wanted to move through these slides quickly. We got through it in about 20 minutes here. So hopefully that leaves enough room and time for any questions, any conversations that anybody wants to have. We do have microphones up at the front, so if anybody has any questions, please feel free to come up, ask them about anything we presented today, one thing you're excited to hear about or heard about yesterday at the events, or looking forward to at the conference. So that's kind of it, guys. What do you have? Hey, come on up.
My name is Nisha Pearson, the president of the New York City Professional Chapter of NSBE. There was something that you said a couple of slides ago, and I'm glossed over it, about transitioning what is called affiliate members to full professionals, and what does that entail, like full privileges as a professional member, including because our bylaws would actually have to be changed in a lot of ways, because number one, in order to serve on our boards, you have to be an engineer, and there is a cost to the work that we put into becoming who we are. And so, is this something that's going to be put to the membership? Because I know there's two things that are involved. I'm a professional registered parliamentarian, so I read our bylaws back to front. So I know that either it has to be 2/3 vote of the professional executive board and or 2/3 vote of the entire membership. And I don't think that a decision of that magnitude, especially a change in status within our organization, should be left up to a handful of people. So I do think that would have to be a society-wide vote, because again, as members, we should have the privilege of the work that we put in.
Yeah, I'm happy to respond, and thanks for the background, and definitely holding us to account. Everything that you described is absolutely true. So this proposal is on the ballot with the NSBE Senate, and will be discussed in detail in the national forum. And so if anyone right here is interested in going more in depth in the discussion about the proposal, please, mark your agenda for attending the national forum. Something that Eric mentioned is that, well, one, we've given this a great deal of thought, but also taking a phased approach. And so what's on the ballot for today specifically, or at the conference specifically, is adding in an additional eligibility requirement of engineering licensure. And so, for example, if you have a PE, if you're granted a PE, but may not have an accredited degree from AVID, for example, you would be eligible to receive full professional membership in the organization. And one of the call-outs specifically is from an inclusion and diversity perspective. We have a number of international members right in the organization, and AVID's accreditation process largely focuses on the US. And so there isn't a space or current mechanism in our bylaws to allow them to access the full NSBE membership experience.
My other issue is because we've had a lot of other members that like to say I'm financial engineering or something to that effect, and they want to be able to serve. And that was the reasoning behind. And for a number of years, it was been a battle back and forth about earning our keep. And I'm not saying that and on against the international members or people that have the titles outside of things. I'm talking about massaging the term of what constitutes as an engineer, and that is my main concern, because again, there's going to be a number of people that will, and they've gone to different types of schools, and they said, I've been an NSBE member forever, but I'm not an engineer, and so I feel that I should be able to serve in president positions, vice president, whatever, all of our core membership positions, and they want to change some of the directional ways that NSBE operates in order to be able to serve in those roles. And I'm not saying it's self-serving the way that they're doing it, but they want to be able to use the name of NSBE to be able to say, I'm the national chair. And again, I think even talking to the founders, because I've had numerous conversations with them about that, and they've maintained that the reason why they started this organization was to support people that have engineering degrees or are trying to pursue degrees in STEM. So I do not want us to go too far out, and especially if the language of the proposal does not include what that means. And again, I haven't seen that ahead of time, and so the question that I have is, in terms of notice, because I do know that when you do have bylaw amendments, you're supposed to put out notices that this is what you're supposed to be doing. And so you have to set that out to the membership in advance to know that they're gonna vote on this. So I'm not 100% sure that we're in good standing with this amendment yet, because again, notice is something that is in Roberts that says that you have to let your membership know that this is a decision that you're gonna make, because people will go and say vote yes, not knowing the consequences. It's the exact same reason for things like Brexit. People didn't know what it meant. They voted yes or no, and then problems. So the thing that I want to be sure is that the language is very clear about what you mean by ABEP accreditation, what you mean by the members that have keys or whatever it is. Because again, there are going to be people that say, I have an engineering title, but it's not considered the engineering that we care about. And then next thing you know, we open up a can of worms. So that was just the point that I was making. And 100%, I do know that notice is something that we need to have before the vote. So I'm not sure if it's in good standing yet, because I didn't see any communication about this potential bylaw amendment.
Yeah, no, I appreciate the additional context. I'll just provide a brief comment and acknowledge the concern. These exact conversations we've had in board meetings with the Professional Executive Board and the National Executive Board. And I encourage everybody to read the information that has gone out for National Forum, but also just a kind of point of information around how the vote for this particular item happens in the organization. The vote moves forward through the Senate, and that's a different governing body than the House of Delegates, which sits within the NSBE professionals. So the Senate is the highest ranking governing authority, right, for constitutional amendment, and those are the representatives within our collegiate chapters. Additional questions?
Hello. Hi, I'm Desmond Jones. I'm actually a tech advisor at the college. And my question is more of just okay, my question is more of like what is NSBE's kind of opinion about this kind of question. So I'm a computer scientist, and back when I was going through NSBE, there was a divide about whether computer science is really engineering or not. And I happen to have gotten an engineering degree, computer science degree from Lincoln College. So my degree is accredited, but I know a lot of students are not. And from inside academia, I can say that probably the trend is to start establishing computing degrees outside of the engineering framework, and they're especially targeting white and brown communities, such as the ones that NSBE is serving, because of high school reasons, because of diversity reasons. And I think that has a long-term impact on the kind of people that are going to be eligible for NSBE or will see themselves in NSBE. So I'm just wondering what we're thinking about this in terms of the organization, in terms of the strategic plan. How do we think about computing and engineering?
Yeah, I'm happy to respond to that as well. Next, right, a little bit conversations we've had related to membership eligibility. So first, in terms of an official position, the organization has not put out, right, a position or any quote unquote forward-looking statements around, right, computing specifically or, right, definitions for engineering and engineering profession outside of what's in our bylaws that describes the membership definition, which allows all individuals, right, to be a member. It isn't a right degree requirement to be a member. Right, we have the full professional membership or collegiate membership, which has degree definitions. And then we have affiliate membership, which allows for additional access. Something we're seeing, of course, in computing, which I think is what you're calling out, is that the entry pathways are different, right? you're able to go to, for example, a well-established, accredited, like coding boot camp and gain similar skills that are recognized by industry and have the same titles as someone who may have gotten, let's just say, a software engineering degree. Where it does look different, right, is going into some of the academia spaces for research, right, and doing some of the kind of state-of-the-art academic approach. So in general, the way we've had this conversation in NSBE is to look from an industry-specific perspective and think about where their industry is going and be open to adapting, because we know that as an organization, we'll have to change to stay relevant, right? The industries that those we serve are changing. Yeah, I'm going to share your hands and notes.
I just wanted to add a couple more points. I'm also a computer science major grad. I'm in the school of science. So there's a lot of schools that are still under science, software sciences, by definition. A lot of positions. So I wanted to expand this coverage of member true to the organization. But I'm so rigid. I'm working on a team with a lot of non-traditional people for the military, because it's what IT different. Execution rules, no experience in the craft, they produce society, and they support the mission. But the mission of I want to see the broad that be more inclusive of the changing times, like our mission, make sure we're reactive to what the state of the is like. That answer your question?
Any other questions? Well, we are obviously here for the remainder of the day and the conference. Feel free to stop by and engage with us. I think we'll recess and have some opportunity for a network, and I'll pass it to Townsend to close.
No, yeah. Arthur said it best. This was an informal session, time for you guys to talk and network. I've heard some connections already being made before we started today, so continue those conversations going. Like I said, we've got the room for the next few minutes here, so please feel free to grab some more food to eat, grab something to drink in the back. With your fellow professionals, and we will see you guys at general session. That happens at 3 p.m. today. So, thank you all.